My 35F employee, 45M, made the grossest sexual comments I've ever heard. Should I care? So I'm a manager in a male-dominated industry. Truck driving. I have 2 dispatchers under me. Both men. They each have 20 drivers under them. All male. This evening, we had a major problem that needed to get solved. We needed to ask a driver to do something that no driver wants to do. Work late on Friday. Since we can't force a driver who's already worked 9 hours to do something, we had to persuade one to say yes. After figuring out who already went home and who was already working late, there was only one available driver. A particular angry one, with an attitude problem, in my opinion. Shit tasks like this always fall onto me. I figured this would be no exception. I was not looking forward to it. Surprisingly, my dispatcher asked me if I wanted him to do it. I asked, why? He said, I know it needs to get done. I was thinking, oh, so you don't think I can get it done? But I said, okay, go ahead. He started looking around. I said, what are you looking for? He said, a private room. I asked why. Him, because I'm gonna say things you shouldn't hear. Me. I wanna hear. Him. Then follow me. We get in the room and he calls the driver. The driver answers. And the conversation goes as follows. Him. I need you to remember something. Driver. What? Him. When was the last time I bent you over and fucked you right up the ass? Driver. Laughing. I'll give you credit. It's been a while. Him. Can I do it tonight? Driver. Laughing harder. What the F you need? Him. Bro. I need to rape you. Driver. Laughing even harder. How bad's it gonna be? Him. You'll be going to the emergency room. They'll break out the rape test kit. And you'll probably be able to put me in jail. Driver. Laughing harder than I've ever heard anyone laugh. Alright bitch. I'll do it. That was that. It got done. I guess my question is this really how men talk to each other? I've decided that I'm not going to take any action against the dispatcher. I mean, I asked for it. But I just can't imagine using anal rape jokes as a persuasionary tactic. Or am I the crazy one for working in truck driving as a woman? Maybe I should have gone into nursing lol. Men of Reddit, please help me. I'm a female executive with 25 years of experience in the transportation sector, both trucking and rail, and at this point in my career I assure you I've heard it all. The conversation between the dispatcher and driver was par for the course, and representative of 2 men with a good working relationship making excellent decisions for the benefit of the company, and both are to be commended in my opinion. It takes an extremely thick skin as a woman in our field to not only last, but it's imperative if you wish to climb the corporate ladder in our industry. My only words of caution would be to acknowledge and recognize the communication differences, but most importantly not attempt to become a member of the boys' club by engaging in that manner of speaking with them in even the slightest way, which means remain aware of it but also remain an outsider and separate yourself as far away as you can. It not only establishes professional standards of conduct but distinguishes you as a leader as well, which you will need to advance in your career. While you may see you have a leg up currently due to gender, you'll soon realize you hit a plateau that's hard to get over. At the top level you will not be as welcome and accepted in positions of authority as you are in middle management. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders and will do well with your pragmatic approach to your job. Best of luck. Not all men communicate that way to one another. He obviously has history with the driver and can speak with him that way. I'm guessing that if it had been a different driver he would have taken a different approach. It does kinda come with the territory. I was a grunt for 10 years in the army. We had a special way of communicating that would send many to sharp if they were in our presence. The next 10 years of my military career I transitioned to finance and engineering. We talked in a way that our mothers would approve. If this is something that you have never witnessed before, I would just look at it like an isolated case. If it gets to a point where it becomes commonplace, then pull him to the side and address it. Always try to handle things at the lowest level if possible. Yak now. At least he asked for a private room. Woman shrugging. Some men who talk this way to each other think everyone else wants to hear it too. He went into a private space and had the convo. You were asked if you wanted to hear it. Dispatcher knew how to get that driver to respond and accept. Your dispatcher sounds fucking awesome at his job. He got the angry guy to agree to work late on Friday while laughing about it. Masterful. Give the man a raise. It sounds inappropriate, but the men seem to know each other and both were laughing about it. Like, if I was threatening my sister to do something for me, I wouldn't go around saying I would rape her. But I'd say something like, do this thing for me, or I'll have to rip your head off, and we'd both laugh about it and she'd know I was serious and do it. It's just a bizarre, take things too far to show them how serious you are thing. Lol. It's just banter. And in a male-dominated industry, it gets amplified tenfold. I worked in construction and 90% of what was said would definitely have not been appropriate for the office job I now have. It's just a work culture thing and normal in my experience. He knew his audience and did a masterful job at getting shit done. The fact that he wanted a private room to do this is a good thing. Pretty standard dude talk. Especially for what I'm guessing are older school dudes. Raunchy as fuck and definitely not a public area conversation. But the dispatcher knew his audience and had rapport with the guy. Gotta give him that. Anyone else find it interesting how OP's first thought after the guy offered help was, oh, he thinks I can't do it? Like what? Clearly the convo between the guys makes it sound like they've been friends for a long time. Lol. Random guys? No. People I've known for about 15 minutes? Yes. I work as a dispatcher, service coordinator, and have been with an actual truck driver. Wedding next month. For almost 7 years. When I say I have heard my fiancé talk to his dispatcher, bosses on the verge of like this, I am not lying or exaggerating. Many of the men I supervise and the men my fiancé works with are gruff people, and this just happens to be their language. They are wonderful men, but their jobs are tough and grueling and they enjoy levity. Your dispatcher is a gem and understands his drivers and their differing personalities. Speaking as a female truck driver here, know the person you are talking to. The driver was laughing the whole time and agreed to it. There is a backstory there. I had a male dispatcher that I used to joke that he FCKED me over at times. It was a joke between us. I don't joke like that with my current dispatcher. We do not have that history. I get that the topic of rape is ugly, but neither of them were actually discussing anal rape. He obviously has a friendly relationship with the guy, and the conversation was between him and the driver. It was not involving you or directed at you. Why would you even think about reporting it? He also got the job done. You might have possibly not been able to do it and get screwed. My UPS driver at my job is the most vulgar dude I ever met. And he's the best driver I ever met in my life. We communicate vulgarly. That's just how he is. And he's happy I'm happy we not hurting nobody. 44F. Worked in a factory and this is extremely mild compared to what I've heard. I still work in a male-dominated industry and while not quite as bad, they still get very raunchy. To me, I'd be laughing my ass off at that conversation. But that's just me. Edit for spelling. Medical professional here. My favorite post is about maybe going into nursing. We are significantly worse. Just a hunch, but I would hazard a guess that the conversation, although using crude language, is actually a very sophisticated exchange, allowing the supervisor to expose his own need, vulnerability, to the driver in a way that permitted the driver to both recognize the inherent power dynamic, but also that the supervisor was tacitly acknowledging the driver's own power in the situation. This enabled the driver to feel respected, possibly even loved, in a way that is socially acceptable among a social group that has many taboos about male love. The laughter was the sincere recognition by the driver of the supervisor's skill at showing his affection and respect by using language that permitted both of them to bond more closely while remaining protected from shame or ridicule by the seemingly aggressive banter. Source: Am a 60-year-old man. Yes, this is how men talk to each other. If it's gross and demented in a joking fashion, we find it hilarious, lol. Why was your initial instinct to give him shit when he offered to do the job that needed to be done? Men. Not all men. Also men. Haha, yeah, totally all men.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.